Okay, update number 3. Thought I'd share a little bit about some of the things I'm trying to work on at the moment, or trying to sort out, that are slowing down the process. There's always a few things that you come up against that slow it down. First is the these brakes. I've just borrowed, a friend of mine's been kind enough to lend me a different adapter that someone makes up. It's for a different caliper to this, but I don't think it's actually to suit an S13, but it's very close to fitting. The issue I have with all the adapters is they don't use the whole pad surface. They sort of hang out quite a bit off the disc. So I've come to the realization I'm going to have to make a mount, but this one's the closest. It's actually quite, if you can see that, about 3 or 4 mil out. So if I copy this bracket and drill the holes in the right spot, that should put the caliper in the right spot. I've also had to relieve, you can see where all that gunky yellow stuff is, I've had to relieve this out a little bit, not much, but just enough to fit that sort of circumference of the disc, because the standard disc's quite a lot smaller. So basically just playing around. Here's a couple of adapters that don't work for this use, but this one here is fairly good. I'm just going to have to get some stock and cut it up and re-drill and fiddle around a bit. Hopefully I measure twice and cut once, which is the theory. Alright, the next thing we're working on is getting this pedal box in the right spot. So issue I have with that, is to get it far enough back, the cylinders hit the firewall. So I'm going to have to lift it up, put it up on a platform to get it far enough back. But I really have to watch that height between the steering column and the top of the pedal, because I don't want my feet getting stuck on the steering column. I don't really want to modify that too much. I do have a little bit of movement there, but the main thing is those master cylinders at the back and the firewall. I don't really want to cut the firewall there, because there's a chassis, bar underneath it, for use of a better word. So I've got to weld in some sort of platform or something, and it's got to be nice and strong, because you put a lot of pressure on those. So I'll probably have to weld something about level with the top of this roll cage bracket here across to that side, and then make some sort of plate to come back for my feet. But it has given me, with the spacers and that, it's put me back far enough in the car, and that's pretty cool. Pretty happy with that. But just got to get that pedal box right, so a bit of more fabrication there. And probably the third thing, which is it's just more fabrication work really, seems to be the main theme with race cars. So on the fuel tank here, I've got to make up some bracketry for here, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to fit all the components for the fuel system. You've got the 2 pumps, surge tank, filter, another filter to go there, and I really want to keep it all within this, in this boundary here, so I can box it all in and make it neat, because everything's got to be, all the fuel system's got to be boxed in, so it can't leak into the cabin basically, which makes a lot of sense. So, but a lot of people keep saying to me, but isn't it more dangerous having a fuel tank next to you? I actually think it's probably safer, because you've got the roll cage around the fuel tank. Sure, if something hits you hard enough, it's still going to get to it, but there'll be other issues if we get hit that hard. So they're the 3 main things that I'm fiddling on at the moment that are making it look like I've done nothing. Probably the other thing that came in the other day, I managed to get these caster brackets in, so you can see the one on the right is the old one, and it's got some strengthening in there, but it's still bent across. I don't know if someone's jacked off it or it's hit things or something. It doesn't really look like it's hit things too much, but anyway, regardless, So I'm going to get a plate like this and weld it onto that to give it some more strength, put a few holes in it, and that should be easy enough. That's one of those things that's just a little bit of time, but it's quite easy to do. So then I'll be able to get that back on. But yeah, the brakes have done my head in for a little while, but we're starting to make some progress, and that's about where we're at.